Hello, everyone. I'm John Dupuy, CEO of iAwake Technologies, and I am with a dear friend and colleague of mine, Nadja Lind aus Berlin,
Hello.
and Berlin, Germany. There are 9 Berlins in the world, and 5 of them are in the United States. I just figured that out. So we are here in our home, in Pam and mine's home in southern Utah, in the meditation room, and this is a place where for many years we've practiced and had wonderful conversations, and hopefully this conversation will add to that tradition. So we're here to talk about Theta Joy, and this is one of your latest creations, and you've made a bunch of stuff for us. The workout ecstasy, strong medicine,
Yeah.
which was my name
Yes.
because I used it, and very powerful stuff. And you've been doing this stuff for years, and you have a background as electronic music creator, producer, performer,
Mm-hmm.
and you've traveled all over the world doing music, and you've also been doing meditative soundtracks and ambient soundtracks for many, many years too. So this is not your first rodeo, as
No.
we would say in Utah.
Yeah, that's true. I've been traveling around the world since I would say 2004, and I started creating those ambient tracks because of all my traveling. So I was having problems because of all the time zones and the stress level involved with this kind of lifestyle, and I had sleeping problems and just problems to relax. And so I found out about this binaural beats, and I wanted to know if it really works or not. So I started creating my own binaural beats and my own ambient music, because I'm very picky in terms of music, because I'm so involved in music, and I wanted to have my own relaxing or focus tracks that I could use while I'm on the plane or waiting for some transport, or before I have to go to the club to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm kind of stressed out and tired, I wanted to be able to get in this very relaxed, calm state, like sleeping, but I would wake up at the end and not be like a mashed potato afterwards.
Yeah. And also, I have to add, you've been a meditator and a yoga practitioner and just an integral practice practitioner for many years.
Yeah.
Ever since I first
Yeah.
met you, which was at least 10 years ago.
I think it's exactly
Just about
10 years ago.
10 years ago, right.
When you were in Berlin.
Yeah, I'm not even
Yes.
sure how we met, but all of a sudden I ended up in your apartment.
I
Helmet.
wanted to have you in my life. That's how we met.
Okay. and I think I visited you at least 3 times, maybe 4 or something. I've been there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful creative environment. Your partner Helmet also, you guys do music together and a lot of other
Yeah.
creative projects. So you go in there and you realize it's a really beautiful, large space, but it's meditation and music production
Yeah.
and video. It's just a really creative, beautiful place. And I've got to spend quite a bit of time there, and also in Berlin,
Mhm.
crazy, wild Berlin,
Yes,
and have
it is.
fallen in love with Berlin, the city, the people, the attitude. There's something very the creativity
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
going on there. So it's been a joy.
It is a creative space. Yeah.
So, and one of the things that you've been doing since you've been here is taking pretty high-end recording equipment and going out into nature
Yes.
and recording nature sounds, streams and the wind and birds. I'm not just anything that nature's producing.
Mhm.
So, in your tracks, and you've been doing this from a long time, from the very beginning ones that you created for iAwake to the current ones. In some of the early ones, you were taking ambient sounds from Berlin, from the city, from the domes, and from special environments. But now you're mixing into the meditation tracks that you're creating sounds of nature.
Yeah.
And not just recorded sounds somebody else did, but you're getting them firsthand for yourself.
Yes, I'm more or less always running around with my microphone, like a stereo microphone. It's called OKM Soundman, and it's just incredible. So you put the microphones in your ears, and you can walk around and you have the exact feeling of that what you're having right now, but just enhanced. And I've been doing this for many years. Probably most of my travels, I recorded sounds maybe from cities like Rome, walking through Rome, or New York, or also when I was somewhere in the countryside, like on a safari trip in Masai Mara, Kenya, or wherever I was. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I was really pleased to do it here in Utah, in this beautiful countryside, with James Anderson, the mastering engineer of the iAwake tracks, who lives just around the corner, and it was just amazing. We had so much fun, and we were like little kids.
Sorry, there's so many questions I could ask you about how the creative process, and how you take the sounds and then you mix that into the other stuff, or do you start with the nature sounds? Anyway, I don't want to get into that. What I do want to get into is about Theta Joy, this latest track that that we've released, and it's a beautiful track, and I don't know if you're just getting better or my brain's getting better, but I just love what you've been doing over the last couple of years. Always loved it, but there's kind of a new, you're moving in a different field. It's not just the same stuff. I mean, the first stuff was kind of dark and heavy, and now it's moving into a lighter phase. And so why Theta, why Joy?
Yeah, it looks like I'm getting more joyous or happy or lighter. Yeah, I mean, I've got so many tracks now of this darker ambient sounds that I thought it would be time to just move on and do something different and go more into like melody composing tracks, like the Theta Joy track is. And I think it works very well together with the theta binaurals, because due to the nature of the melodic and happy or joyous track, you can still be focused and not get too much into this hypnotic state that theta is all about, but the melody of the track kind of elevates you a little bit from that. So you get into this deep focused state, at least that's my experience and what I hear from other users as well. And the melody still keeps you going in the daytime, so to say.
And can you tell us a little bit about the brainwave track Theta and why you selected Theta for this particular project?
I'm a huge fan of Theta, especially because Theta is the right between the edge of being awake and between deep sleep. It's right. It's like a portal to your subconsciousness, they call it. So I don't know if people know that, but if we switch on the TV and we just sit there and stare into the TV screen and there's somebody talking to you, that's already theta. So you are being hypnotized, that's also hypnotizing, and you're being hypnotized all the time. You just don't aware of it. So I rather like to know what I'm being hypnotized with and I like to use theta a lot to get ready for my own visualizations. So what I also do is like vision movies, it's called mind movies and stuff like that, where you visualize what you want to achieve or how you want to feel or whatever, and then you use this theta sounds to get it right into your subconscious. So it's not being processed by your analytical mind. It's right going into your subconscious, and you have the possibility to change your frequency much quicker.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a huge Theta fan, and since I know about all this, how all this works,
Right.
I like to use it like that.
Yeah, and theta is one of the brainwave that is the brain exhibits the most of when you're in deep REM sleep. So when you're in that unconscious processing, it's like, you're right. It's like that zone between the deep unconscious and the conscious mind, where all these interesting things happen.
Yeah.
And I use it. Well, I use a lot of your tracks. Before I did this, I meditated with Theta Joy. Then I did Strong Medicine, the 22-minute version, and that's Theta also, but very powerful. And I use it when I'm down. Okay, I'm kind of feeling sad, and I also use it for spiritual practice, and especially when I'm looking for answers or guidance from the unconscious.
Yes.
And I believe that we all have a wisdom voice within us, that if we relax into the deeper unconscious, and the good news is that you can't go too deep, because the deeper you go, the better it gets. You have sometimes you have to go through a lot of levels of our wounding and our stories and this and that until you get to this deep place of wisdom. And wisdom is something that it's that kind of knowing, that the intuitive knowing that gives us answers and directions for the big questions in life, the soul-centric questions, like what am I here to do? What's my purpose? Is there any meaning to this thing? Is there life after death? Is there such thing as a God? I mean, all of these questions that are part of the spiritual journey, or I find emerge in a way that's not dogmatic or not. It's just in a real kind of knowing, and there's great peace in that. That if we relax into our own being, that we can begin to connect experientially with the source of all things, and from that comes guidance and wisdom and dreams and visions and all of this great stuff that's there in the unconscious to guide us.
Yeah, that's my experience too, absolutely. Yes, wisdom and inner guidance is a very good point here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I like about Theta, and also the deep relaxation into it in order to get there, because I'm a very hyper person when it comes to being still and sitting down and meditate. It's like, oh my goodness, my body likes to twitch around and go and do whatever, but not sitting here and being still. So it's been a huge problem for me to just sit down and do my meditation, and through all these meditation tracks I achieved this. So it's
B.B. King, a famous American blues guitarist and singer, he said, practice to play the kind of music you want to hear. And that's what you've done. You created the medicine, the sonic medicine that you needed and that you wanted, and it's been a great boon and a blessing for the rest of us.
Luckily, yes. It's exactly how it went. I did it just for myself because I was kind of desperate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it helped me a big deal. And then I sent it out to friends and DJ colleagues who had the same schedule like I, and the response was amazing. Like they kept on, they're getting a lot of stuff, and usually they don't ask for more, and I kept on getting emails from people who are asking for more like that. So it worked, not only for me, but it really works.
Yeah, and you have your own networks of people, but we also have our faithful and beloved iAwake beta testers that help us before we release any new track or product. It goes through a lot of testing, and they absolutely love it. And I started meditating too because I was desperate. Often it's our suffering that drags us to the point where we're willing to do the work, because it takes discipline, it takes effort, and it takes time, and you have to do it. And the other thing about this track is that a Theta Joy is there's no evidence that if it's on your iPhone it'll actually do anything unless you use it, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, just an encouragement to begin to make your life be practice centric, and your meditation and your workout and all the other parts. I talk about integral practice all the time, but use it. And this is what it's 24 minutes long, correct?
Like the Theta Joy track is 24 minutes,
Yeah.
and the What is Time track is 45 minutes
Yes.
almost.
Uh-huh. So if you only have time, for 24 minutes is to change your life, and it's not that much. That's one of the a shorter, but it's not too short. But it's just right in the zone that you can do it and feel, you've gotten there. And I suppose you can loop it too if you really want to.
Yeah, you can loop it. Yes, sure.
Because it stays mainly in theta.
Yeah,
right?
it's meta thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more is more. I mean, I think you can meditate too much with this technology, but most of us never push that. But if you get into 2 hours, or on special occasions, or even 3 hours, when it's really. And I might take a break, at hour 1 or hour 2 and come back, but it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and you begin to, the more you use it, the more you practice, the better you get, as with any skill.
But I think the most important thing is that you use a little, even if it's just a little bit every day,
right?
To have it as a practice, because the brain likes shorter intervals and repetition in order to change. And you actually change your brain. I mean, we know the brain is plastic, and
plastic, not in the sense
it's not
we don't have anything plastic here, but in the sense that it's malleable, it's changeable, it can evolve very quickly if we do the right things.
Neuroplasticity, it's called, thankfully, and that's the way you actually change your brain, and we can measure it now. I mean, the yogis have known this for thousands of years, but now we also know it through measurement. That's the good thing about iAwake as well, because we're able to have the technology behind it, and if you know why things are working, it's easier to do it. I think, for me at least, because I'm from the Western world, and we always want to know how and why it's working, and it's easier to do it.
Yeah, and it's good to know. There's no problem with that. Yeah. So if you're looking for a track or a tool to deepen your meditative practice, or to start your meditative practice, or to increase creativity, deal with trauma, issues from the past, depression. Did I miss anything? This is a fantastic
boost your productivity. Focus, visualize what you want to, how you want to be, what you want to achieve. Yes, many things.
So
also relax more and easier stress level of the daily life, maybe.
And experience more joy. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you so much for listening to this, and we love your feedback. Email us, let us know how it's going, and if you have any comments or requests, we love that stuff. So please keep them coming, and keep practicing, and get some Theta Joy today and tomorrow.